with sustained growth from there. From your traditional marketing to social media to paid search, we'll take a forensic approach, digging deep to find the root problems in your marketing strategy. Then we'll fix them fast. At Scale Marketing, we can't stop the clock, but we can change your company's future. Find out how you can make your marketing budget work harder and drive more revenue. Contact us at scalemarketing.com or call us at 833-SCALE-25. That's 833-SCALE-25.
Do you want to sell a property but it needs a lot of repairs? Do you need to sell and don't have time to put it on the market and wait for an offer? Are you tired of cash buyers promising you the world only to reduce your price along the way? Don't fall for their bait and switch tactics. Wedgwood Homes is firm on their offer and actively buying homes in Southern California for nearly 40 years. Wedgwood Homes has no fees, no agent commissions, no listing contracts, and can close in as little as 3 days. Whether you are selling as is, have tough rental properties, just inherited a home, are just financially stressed right now, or don't want to go through the route of a traditional listing, make your next move with Wedgwood Homes. You can count on a Wedgwood Homes offer. We help turn your home or property into cash. It's easy. No repairs, no cleanings, no showings. The Wedgwood Homes team of dedicated professionals will hold your hand throughout the process and work on your timeline. And unlike other cash buyers who renegotiate after you've signed, Wedgwood Homes won't do that. Our offer is firm. Call now for a no-obligation all-cash offer from Wedgwood Homes. 800-604-3090. Wedgwood Homes, SoCal's trusted home buyer. 800-604-3090. 800-604-3090. Or contact us at wedgwoodhomes.com.
Hey, you can watch 97.3 The Fan from sunup to sundown on YouTube. All of your favorite fan talk shows are streaming on YouTube. Just search 97.3 The Fan on YouTube and smash that subscribe button today.
KWFM and KWFM HD1 San Diego.
This is Xander Bogarts. The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And the Padres in front.
And Odyssey Sports Station. Hold on.
What?
Our day is not over just yet.
Woohoo! USA! USA!
We have an action-packed hour for you 6 p.m. drivers.
Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy, both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me.
Matt Skraby wraps up a full day of live and local sports talk.
And that is the whole problem with aliens. You just can't trust them. Occasionally you meet a nice one, but usually they turn out to be some kind of big lizard.
The Skraby Show starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Hello, welcome into the Skraby Show. I am Matt Skraby. You just heard me, so my voice isn't too new to any of you. We are on YouTube right now. If you'd like to join the YouTube stream and chat with everybody that's in the chat right now, you can do that. You just search 97.3 The Fan when you go to YouTube. I'm also on Twitter at Matt Skraby. And you can go to and just listen to us either on the regular radio, 97.3 FM, or the Odyssey app. So we got plenty of ways for everybody to listen to us. And I have Frank Marchese here with me in studio. We're going to get to Frank in just a second because Frank, I think everybody knows by now that Frank likes a certain team called the New York Metropolitans. So I want to get a fan's perspective on Juan Soto, because Juan Soto, to me, I think this is the most ridiculous deal of all time. I think that I tweeted this. I said this is the biggest overpay in sports history. And I know I'm being dramatic, but I don't think that Juan Soto is worth $51 million a year. And I can already hear someone saying, well, you're worth what people pay you. Frank was actually saying that into my ear. No, I'm just kidding. I hear that all the time. And yes, people might pay you a lot of money. Doesn't mean you're worth it. And Juan Soto is going to be a glorified DH here in a little bit. But we're not going to get into that right now. We'll get into that with Frank, the resident Mets fan here. And then I'm going to lead you up to Sammy Lev, who is at the winter meetings. He is in Dallas. He is fully entrenched in everything that's going on. At the winter meetings, we heard from Joel Wolf. I have a really hard time with his name for some reason. Joel Wolf. Say that 10 times fast. He is Roki Sasaki's agent, and he spoke today at the winter meetings and said some kind of interesting things. It's things that I didn't think that we knew, like how long this process was going to take. I thought we thought it was going to take a little bit, but this could go well into January. I mean, the first date he's allowed to sign is January 15th, so we're going to be waiting a little bit for that. We have players coming off the board, free agency-wise for Major League Baseball, players that the Padres were somewhat in on. So there is, I feel like this is just going to be our winter meeting mood, because the last couple of years it's felt like the same thing, where Padres aren't really doing much to make waves in the free agent market. But last year they traded Juan Soto, and they got everybody that they got. We've already went over it. So I think that we need to let AJ do his work. And some of the guys that came off the board today, I don't think the Padres were ever in serious consideration for. So before we go any further, let's get into the news of the day, and I'll tell you what's happened with all of that.
It's time to get caught up on the latest with the news of the day.
All right, so the first piece of news for the day is going to be the Yankees. They have pivoted from Juan Soto. They are done crying after they were spurned at the altar by Mr. Juan Soto.
No, they're not.
They're not done crying?
No, they're not.
Okay, well, they're trying to be done crying. They're doing the rebound thing right now, and their rebound is actually a very good player. It's Max Fried. He agreed to an 8-year, $218 million deal with the Yankees. No trade clause, full no trade clause, no deferred money. So we're only seeing the deferred money come from one place. And I'm not saying that to be like, against the Dodgers or anything like that. But we are only seeing deferred money really in one place. So we talked about Max Fried. He may have been someone that the Dodgers should target, or Padres should target. But after you see his price tag, 8 years and $218 million, I just don't think that's something that the Padres wanted to do. In fact, I'm 99.9% sure the Padres are not going to be paying $218 million to anyone this offseason. Rangers have brought back their guy, Nathan Eovaldi, 3 years, $75 million for him. So he's going to go back to the team that he won the World Series with. And and that's someone that we talked about. We never really thought that Nathan Eovaldi was a good fit for the Padres just because of his price, and just because, you have to bring guys in that, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but I don't think he gels with this team as he would with other teams. The Toronto Blue Jays made a big old trade today, and they traded with the Guardians. Andres Jimenez, one of the best defensive infielders in baseball, was traded to the Blue Jays. He's only 26, Jimenez. He signed 2 seasons ago a 7-year, $106.5 million extension, meaning he has 5 years of club control remaining, along with a team option for 2030. The Blue Jays also acquired right-hand reliever Nick Sandlin in the deal, and the Blue Jays are going to send Spencer Horwitz and minor league outfielder Nick Mitchell to the Guardians. The clubs have not actually confirmed the deal yet, but everybody is really saying that this is going to go through. Jeff Passan is tweeting it. So when there's smoke, there is fire there. So that's another move that happened today in Major League Baseball. And the next real free agent pitcher that's left is going to be Corbin Burns. Where is Corbin Burns going to go? And what is he going to make if Max Fried is making 8 years, $218 million with the New York Yankees? Corbin Burns is probably out of the Padres price as well. And I'm going to get into when I say they're out of the Padres price, because I know the Kevin Acee article had people reading it a certain way, and we'll go through that. But things have picked up here in free agency so far at the winter meetings. The hot stove is finally hot, Frank Marchese, and I'm happy for it, because I like to see all these things come in. And it's a surprise when you see guys like Matt Fried go to the Yankees for 8 years, $218 million. Didn't think he was going to go to the Yankees.
No, and I think they had to make a big splash, especially after losing Juan Soto and the way that they lost him, with the reports and details that have come out after that.
Let's get into that later, too.
But this is what we expected, is once Soto was off the board, which is why we hoped that the rumors were true, that he was going to sign before the winter meetings. Once Soto was off the board, then everything was going to pick up, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, people just need to, the teams just need to know where things were going to fall and what teams now the Mets would be in on. I mean, Pete Alonso is still out there, but I've read that Pete Alonso is not out yet for the Mets, which is crazy because immediately when I heard that they signed Juan Soto to a 15-year, $765 million contract, I thought, well, there goes Pete Alonso's chance to come back to New York.
He's not going to make as much as you would think he would. Of course, he's a great power hitter. He's come a long way defensively. He cannot hit for average. And you are not going to see a $200 million contract for a guy who's going to average 220, 230 a year. It's just not going to happen.
I can agree with that. Not going to you can't hit 220 or 230. No. But and he doesn't play great defense, Pete Alonso.
He's been he's getting better every year. It's not Gold Glove caliber, but it's not far away from it either.
The polar bear. Here's kind of a quick update on what's going on with free agents, and this free agent tracker has them ranked. And so Juan Soto, obviously the top. We know he went to the Mets. Corbin Burns still a free agent. Alex Bregman still a free agent. Blake Snell signed with the Dodgers, 5 years, 182. Max Fried, we just talked about, 8 years, 218 with the Yankees. Willie Adames signed a 7-year, $182 million deal with the Giants. And then you got, obviously Roki Sasaki. Jack Flaherty still a free agent. Sean Manaea still a free agent. Max Scherzer is still a free agent. Ha-Seong Kim still a free agent. I've also seen that the Yankees are probably, because Anthony Rizzo is not going to be on the team. NL West mainstay Christian Walker, I've heard, could sign with the Yankees because he would be a good fit for them. He had some good power last year. First baseman, so they need a first baseman.
Left-handed pull hitter with a 200-foot right field corner. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah,
worked out nicely.
Everybody loves that. Everybody loves that. Especially, I'm surprised, honestly. What's the right field situation like at Citi Field? Is it in Juan Soto's wheelhouse, or because I'm surprised that he left that little porch?
Yeah, no. When you can hit as well as Juan Soto can hit, and we saw it last year, and we saw it for the 2 years he was here when he actually did make contact with the ball instead of just trying to walk. Anywhere is very much within his range.
Yeah, that's true. But we're still waiting for the Padres to make a move, and that's okay. I told you, I'm doing this whole thing a little bit different these days. Last couple years, last year I was in panic mode. Padres had no one in their outfield. They had positions open all over the place, and so I was panicking. But this year, I'm not going to panic. I'm going to trust in A.J. Preller, and I'm going to see what he could do because he does his best work, and he does it during the winter meetings time. Also, I mean, I can't actually say that because he did do some great work during the season last year. Bottom line, A.J. Preller is the chef, and he's cooking right now.
By the way, I was wrong. Christian Walker's a righty.
I thought so. I just didn't want to say anything.
The left field corner at Yankee Stadium is probably like 4 feet further out, so he's still fine. But yeah, it's a righty.
Jax on the chat says, now Italian Paul, is a huge Soto guy, huh? Is that true?
Always have been. Always have been.
No, you have not.
No, yes, I have. I mean, if you want to save this for later, if you want to get into the conversation now, we can. But that's up to you.
We're gonna save it for a little bit.
Okay, fair enough.
Save it for a little bit. I'm gonna do a roll call real quick. We got Dan, Katrina, Podzilla, Mott the Padre, Dominic, Jacob, Jax, Trevor, Rod, Chris, Dwayne. I've already said Trevor. I know I'm missing some of you, but thank you all for being here. Again, you can watch us on YouTube if you would like. You just go to YouTube, search 97.3 The Fan, and you could also listen on the Odyssey app, or you can go to my Twitter, @Matt Skraby. So when we get back, we're going to talk to Frank a little bit about Juan Soto and how a Mets fan feels today. Because if I was a Mets fan, I'd be a little angry, but that's besides the point. And I also want to talk to you a little bit about the Rocket League that I called last week. I know Frank is a play-by-play NASCAR esport guy, right? And that was a great way of
yes.
That was a really great way of describing your position NASCAR esport talker guy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's about.
So I
right.
did a little bit of Rocket League. You know what Rocket League is, right?
Yeah, I was trying to think. I'm like, I know Rocket League. Is it the same Rocket League or is it something else?
No, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's basically indoor soccer.
Yes.
Video game with cars.
Yes.
And it's really fun. But
Very familiar.
5 high schools in the area competed over the weekend, and I was on the play-by-play.
Attaboy.
I listened to it all. Not going to bring any of it to you. I not that it's like terrible, but I definitely need some work on my Rocket League terminology. At the end, I was like, "Oh, look at that sweet aerial," because in Rocket League, you jump your car and you have to hit the rocket. And
Where can this be found? Just out
it's
of pure
out there.
curiosity.
It's out there on my Twitter. If you go back to Saturday, I retweeted this stream. It was like a live YouTube stream. I also didn't check my mic either, and it was insanely loud. So I want to talk a little bit about that as well when we get back.
So those of you in the YouTube chat, be on the lookout because there may or may not be a Twitter link that gets posted during the break.
I don't think you can put it in the YouTube chat. I don't think you can post links.
Yes, I can.
Oh.
Done it before.
Oh. I need to learn the ways of Frank Marchese over here. All right, we're going to head to break. This is the Skraby Show. We got all of that next, and we'll also talk about the Padres and the Dylan Cease conversation, and we'll just keep going from there. Sammy Lev at 7 o'clock live from Dallas. Back shortly on 97.3 The Fan. One of the things that I didn't really understand when I got into radio is the amount of feedback you get from everybody. I didn't understand it. And I'm actually good with constructive criticism. I'd rather improve than do something that's wrong. But the guys in my guys, Quinn and Chris, they've painted me as the bearer of misinformation. Now, have I contributed to this nickname? Yes, I have. I would like to say about Roki Sasaki, I got a tweet in the break, and I'm not mad about the tweet or anything like that, but they were saying that Roki Sasaki can sign anytime. January 15th is when the new money is allowed to be used, when everybody's money resets. Like right now, the Padres, don't quote me on this, have like $2,000 because they have posted him. But most of the league has already used a lot of their international money. Like a lot of the so Roki Sasaki would be actually taking himself out of the running for teams. Like the Padres, if he were to sign today, wouldn't be able to sign him because they only got not that much money. But January 15th is a day that all of the teams can sign him. So I guess I did not explain that correctly, and I understand. I'm not mad. I just think that sometimes words are not twisted. I'm just going to move off of this because, I'm having a great day. But feedback, definitely, Frank. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I didn't realize how much feedback comes in when you do radio, and when you do radio and you say something wrong, which I am all for. If I say something wrong, I will correct it, but sometimes it's crazy.
Yeah, kind of like me about 10 minutes ago with Christian Walker being a righty.
Yeah. See, I understand that. Never mind. I'm not going to go down this road because it's not a winning road to go down, Frank.
No.
I was wrong. And that's all I got to say. I'm not afraid to admit I was wrong. Although I do know that no one was going to sign Roki Sasaki before January 15th. But again,
there was a date in January that I had seen
15th
before. No, it was something different, and that's why I just went to look it up. It was the window that Sasaki is available. He's available from December 10th, which is today. This from John Heyman. He's available from December 10th all the way to January 23rd.
Okay, there you go.
His window. That was the January date that I saw.
Okay, January 23rd. So, but on January 15th, negotiations could start, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We're going to probably 99.99% wait until that window of January 15th to the 23rd. I honestly, I don't know how baseball contracts and the way they do things got so complicated, but it is one of the most complicated sports to navigate I have ever been a part of. But I love learning about it. I really do. I think that it really makes you it makes you a lot smarter to try and understand these baseball contracts. But again, I'm not annoyed or mad. Just wanted to bring it up. Frank.
Yes.
You are a Mets fan.
Yes.
You also love the Padres. Yes. The Mets.
I will root for the Padres when they are not playing the Mets, yes.
Okay, fair enough. The Mets have signed Juan Soto to the biggest deal of all time. 15 years, $765 million.
Oh, I got to get ready for this. Hold on.
Oh, gosh. What is he doing? He is. No! What is it? You put on a Mets hat. What is this? I didn't even see the Mets hat over there. What is that?
I am ready for your questioning.
This is ridiculous. Question number one. Do you feel good in that hat right now?
I feel amazing in this hat.
Okay, question number two. Real unfiltered thoughts on your team signing Juan Soto.
It is a huge, huge undertaking to bring in somebody for $51 million and potentially 55. I have no doubt in my mind that he is going to be here, be in New York for...
Oh, yeah, you're wearing the Mets hat, so you are there.
To be in New York for the entire 15 years. Even if he opts out, there is no one giving him $50 million a year. Not a shot.
Yeah.
Especially with how Yankee fans cried an ocean over the last couple of days. I am excited. Yes, I am excited for him to be a New York Met. It always looked as though it could happen, even when he was with Washington. It looked as though it could happen. I'm not going to be overly excited because, again, having seen him here, I know what he is, which is an incredible hitter, a liability defensively, and as a person, from what I have read, he's a guy who's a family-oriented guy who doesn't really do the whole team thing.
That's a major issue with me.
And I agree. It is.
There's something, I don't know that he said this, but you phrased it that way. He's not a team guy. That should tell me everything that I need to know.
I wouldn't say he's not a team guy. I would say, from what I've read, it's more of he's not I'm going to go out with the team for like a team dinner kind of guy. He's more of I'm going to go home and hang out with my family. That kind of guy.
Everybody's a peasant to him nowadays.
Well, money changes things.
But I'm not bad-mouthing Juan Soto, but here in town, we did hear some of the certain things that are happening when he was here. Like the whole bus thing. I know that everybody has talked about the bus thing, and one of my daily gripes is if you're late, it makes me so angry because you're wasting my time. I understand why Steve Cohen did it, but I don't think he's thinking of the big picture. I don't think he's thinking of what does Juan Soto do for a team. Juan Soto himself is very good, but what does he do in the clubhouse that brings the team together? Because I think that's part of the $51 million a year.
If you look at the relationship that he has had for years with Francisco Lindor, and especially a guy like Starling Marte, who's in the final year of his contract, they are very, very, very tight with him. So I think the situation that was here isn't going to play out the same way as it will in New York. I think because he has those two very, very close teammates, it's not going to be as bad. And I think he can help. You got to also think, he's 26.
Yeah.
He's still young.
Oh, yeah.
So there's time for him to grow into a potential leader. There is a time for him to grow and do all this. I understand the bad taste in everyone's mouth from how he played here. And he said last year that he understands it. He knows that he did not play to his potential here. He's got a long time in New York. I'm not expecting much this year out of him. The first year Francisco Lindor was a Met, they were building guillotines for him.
Oh my gosh, really?
Last season, not literally. Last year they were building statues for him.
I thought they were actually.
No. So they went from wanting to kill him to now he is the greatest thing to ever happen to New York sports. I'm not expecting much in the first year for Soto. If he does what he did last year with the Yankees, great. I'm not expecting the Mets to win a World Series off of this. I'm not expecting them to even win the division off of this.
What? Why? That's what you're paying him for.
It's one move, though. This isn't basketball. This isn't the NBA. One player doesn't do it. You need an entire team around you.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, which is why I think it's so crazy that Steve Cohen signed an I.
But you need
an I guy.
But you need that player, though. That's the thing. And especially to steal him away from the Yankees, to outbid the Steinbrenners, to outbid the Yankees as a Met for the most coveted free agent possibly in baseball history. That's a prize that was worth paying for Steve Cohen and for the Mets.
I do understand that part of it because the Mets, tell me if I'm wrong, have been the little brother to the Yankees forever.
The last time they were not little brother was in the 80s.
And now the little brother just signed their coveted player. And now more people are talking about the Mets in New York.
Think of it how when the Padres signed Machado away from the Dodgers. It's kind of that feeling.
Well,
little brother got one over on big brother.
Maybe a little bit, but Manny was only there for a couple months. I get what you're saying, though. I do get what you're saying. I also saw a comment about Manny not being a team guy.
When he got here, right.
I think you're right in this sense. I almost called you Will for some reason. Frank. I don't know why. In this sense, you are right because he has time to mature. Yeah. And I think that's what Manny has done since he got here. What was Manny when he got here? Like 26, 27?
He was probably somewhere around there.
So same exact age as Juan Soto. And I believe that Manny Machado has found his own style of leadership. And that is to be there for them on the field when they need him, like pitching. When they go out to the mound, he goes out there, he talks to them a little bit, he gets them back on track. I know Adam Major said when he made his major league debut, Manny came out there when he was struggling a little bit and just said, "Hey, just throw strikes," and that helps a lot. That's his kind of leadership, and then he does it on the field as well. Like Juan Soto, I never saw any of that from. So he's going to have to develop that. He's going to have to develop that style.
No, he absolutely is. And I'm seeing in the chat right here from somebody, I think it just went up. I just lost the name. Loyalty is loyalty
Maria,
to a
loyalty
team.
to a team. Oh, you got it.
No, go ahead.
Isn't important to any of these players anymore. All they care for is money.
And here's the problem I will say with that. He was a Yankee for 1 year. He wasn't a career Yankee. The fact that Yankee fans are crying, "Oh, there's no loyalty. Judge is loyal to us. Garrett Cole is loyal to." Garrett Cole opted out of his contract for more money.
Well, then he took it back.
Right, then he took it back. But the initial, he was gonna leave.
Yeah.
But Garrett Cole's the most loyal guy to the Yankees. Loyalty.
Some inner New York is coming out right now.
Loyalty. If you go back and listen, and I've said this so many times on these airwaves, if you go back and listen to any interview that Juan Soto gives, he made it painfully clear that this is a 1-year loan. I don't want to be here. I'm here because I have to be. I'm going after the money in free agency. He called his shot. It was like us being mad when Trey Turner went to the Phillies. He called his shot. He said he was going to play on the East Coast. And what do you know? He signed with an East Coast team. He never once gave any hint that he was going to stay with the Yankees. He never once gave any hint that he wasn't going to take the money and run. He called his shot, and everyone's getting mad. "Oh, he only took the money." Yeah, he said he was going to. That's what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
So why are we all surprised about that? He never once mentioned loyalty. He never once said he was going to stay with the Yankees. Nothing. That's a problem to me. That doesn't fit with me.
I think Yankees fans are just sad.
Oh, it's salt, yeah. The amount of salt. The amount of salt that Yankee fans are producing right now could power this entire country for millennia to come.
We can run on salt?
With how much salt is being created, we will find a way.
All right. There we go. Can you please take that hat off?
Are we done talking about Juan Soto?
Yeah, we're done talking about Juan
I
Soto.
will.
Thank you. I cannot handle the hat, but you're going to have to bring it back for Sammy Lev a little bit later when you are with him for his show, which starts at 7 p.m. All right. Well, thank you, Frank. Thank you for letting us in to a little bit of New York.
I was going to wear it all shirt. I was going to wear it all show, but it didn't match the shirt. So
Good. I'm glad. And you're looking very svelte today.
Thank you.
All right. When we get back, Dylan Cease, should the Padres trade him? I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. I talked about this last week. Sam and I talked about it last week. So you've already heard my thoughts, but I think some things have changed a little bit with the Dylan Cease stuff.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Skraby.
Oh, conscribacy.
Whatever.
Don't say whatever. Conscribacy.
That's
And that was about you, Darvish.
That's exactly what I said.
When we get back, more on that. Are the Padres going to spend money? And then a quick daily gripe when we get to the end here on the Skraby Show on 97.3 The Fan. One final segment here of the Skraby Show on 97.3 The Fan. You can watch us on YouTube. Just search 97.3 The Fan or go to my Twitter at Matt Skraby. You could also watch there. We're on Twitch too, 973 The Fan. So you can watch us. You can see Svelte Frank and you can see me and my own merch that Sam makes fun of me for. He made fun of me for earlier. He was like, Skraby, how many times are you going to wear that sweatshirt, bro? He didn't say it like that, but that's how I took it. and he just made me feel very self-conscious. So
I hope he did say it in that tone.
he's like, Skraby, what's up, man? Why are you wearing that sweatshirt again, man? That's how Sam sounds. Totally how Sam sounds. Before we get into Dylan Cease, I wanted to talk about this Rocket League event that I did over the weekend on Saturday. It was put on by the San Diego County Office of Education, and it was 5 schools that played in the Rocket League high school tournament at the Linda Vista Innovation Center. And it was actually, I didn't know what to expect. So I didn't know anything about Rocket League, which again is like indoor soccer with cars. And I had no idea. So I downloaded the game. Number one, game is free.
Yes.
You don't have to pay for this game.
It is now.
It's crazy.
It was like $20, I think, when it came out.
That's still nothing.
Compared to AAA titles right now, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, so I went and downloaded it, and I was playing a little bit, really bad at it, but I needed to play it just to kind of get a lay of the land before I went and did play-by-play. So I put it back on my Twitter, at Matt Skraby, MattsKraby, as in boy, Y. You can see the YouTube stream there, and basically, I think what the hardest thing for me is trying to find how to describe the field, because it's technically not a field. It's
like a soccer field in a dome.
Yeah, but there's no grass or anything. But I asked the kids. I had 2 interns on this day helping me. Gotta say,
big
great.
Time, Jesus.
I know. Trust me. When I walked in, they're like, "You got some interns." I'm like,
should I be breathing the same air as you?
Yeah,
right
what's
now?
that? Yes, it is rarefied air up here. Brady and Grant were awesome, and they both were like giving me help on some of the terminologies and everything like that. So what the San Diego County Office of Education is doing, and from what I understand, is they are trying to get kids in high school to do other things, learn other sorts of vocations, learn how to manufacture, learn how to do things that you just don't learn in high school and college. Which
is fantastic.
It is. And I wish I had something like this when I was a kid, because I would have loved to be able to go and check out the manufacturing plant, or go and check out, I'm blanking on the other classes, but I'll just say a radio class. I would have loved to go and check out a radio class. But
it should be mandatory in your senior year to do all that. Like, senior year isn't really like a school teaching year. It's let's try to gauge your interests and see how we can point you in that direction kind of year.
Yeah, because I don't know how many of you out there were lost, but after college, I graduated college in 2008, which was like the worst time to graduate college because no one was hiring. There was a recession. So I had to find odd jobs, and I had no idea what to do with my life. Honestly, it was a very weird time, but I would have loved to have something like this in high school so I can kind of check it out. I say the same thing about the military. If I knew that the military's benefits and everything were so good, I may have joined the military, because at the time, I think I would have benefited from the military. I think that I needed that sort of life at that time. But when you're in the military, you get good benefits for the most part. I know there's people in the military listening right now. They're probably punching their radios, but it's something that I didn't know about. So these things are all notifying these kids of what they can do. But Vista High School ended up winning, and I kind of felt bad for Steel Canyon because Vista was just crushing them. And I'm sorry if anybody from Steel Canyon is listening right now, but you were there. Vista was just scoring all over the place. They had a really, really good team. I mean, these guys in Rocket League are so good. There's 3 cars. One of them will jump and barely hit the ball so that it spins to another guy, and this other guy will come out of nowhere with his rockets doing barrel rolls and hit it so that it goes into the goal. It was pretty awesome, I have to say.
It is something to marvel at, definitely. Like, when I watch, on the rare occasion where I actually sit down and watch a Twitch streamer play a game, it's like, wow, you are really good. I really hope I never get that good, because that means I've done absolutely nothing but play this game for a long, long time.
But see, here's the thing that I love is that Rocket League specifically, they're all on headsets and they're all It's all learning
Yes.
teamwork.
Yes,
They're all
is.
talking to each other. You go over there. I'll go defend the goal. And it's not. When I first was approached, like esports, like come on, that's not a thing, right?
It is. It definitely is, and it has grown over the last couple of years. And I know we don't like to go back to the dark time, but it really kicked off when COVID hit because that was all that was around. That was all that was there.
The dark time.
So when COVID hit, that's when I found broadcasting on iRacing. That's how I found it.
iRacing,
was
that's it.
through was through COVID and just being on it on COVID during COVID. So it really blew up then. It was around before, but it really blew up during.
Yeah,
then.
and this whole esports thing is massive. Like, I watched a YouTube video of the World Championship, and you would have no idea that there's like 50,000 people in this arena watching these people play Rocket League, and so it was really fun. And thank you to Chris Garcia who invited me. He's awesome, and San Diego County Office of Education is the one who is putting this all together. Now they invited me back, so I must have did okay.
There you go.
There's a Super Smash Bro tournament.
Oh no!
In January, I think I'm gonna have to start playing Super Smash Bro.
It's amazing how much play that game still gets.
That's very true.
It's about 20
It was
years
an
old,
N64
right?
game.
Yes, it was.
It was an N64 game, and yeah, I had a lot of fun on Saturday. So thank you to everybody. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Brady. Thank you, Grant. Thank you to everyone. I will. If you want to hear the play-by-play, it's on my Twitter. I don't want to embarrass not that I embarrass myself, but anyway.
If I may offer suggestions.
What?
If you want to sound better, learn the terminology, get into it.
Yeah.
Watch other people do it.
Oh, the shoutcast. It's called. It's actually not play-by-play, by the way. It's shoutcasting.
Right. But like I said, if you want to get better at calling a Rocket League match, watch people do it. Watch people call Rocket League matches. Listen to what they do. Listen to their cadence. Listen to how it sounds, because that's how I did my stuff. I kind of melded all of the styles from all of the people that I've heard watching racing for as long as I have into my own, and that's how it worked out. So if you want to get better at it, listen to it.
I always want to get better at it. I am not above listening to myself. I usually pick out a segment on the ride home that I think was bad, and I go back and listen to it to show myself that it wasn't as bad as I probably thought. But
playing the game was great. It was a great first step. That's how I learned soccer. I bought FIFA 09. That was literally how I learned soccer. It was how I learned basketball, playing NBA 2K6, I think it was. But if you want to get better at calling it, that's how you do it. You listen to other people call it.
You absolutely do. When I was in college, they said, because I took a sports radio class, they had us do play-by-play for 3 innings of a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, just pick a game, go watch it on YouTube, or whatever it was at the time, because it wasn't YouTube. And just record yourself.
Yep.
Mute it and record yourself. I got to go back and I got to see if I could find it. I don't think I have it anymore, but that would be amazing if I was able to find it. Adam Paul is saying that they're at El Capitan. They have an esports team. CTE classes. That's not the CTE. It's certified teaching. Let me just type that in before I go.
Amazingness.
A career and technical education teacher is what it's called. So I guess there are a lot of these things in high schools now, and I think that's cool. Because I would have definitely benefited from that.
It shouldn't be just locked away in a trade school. It should be in a high school as well.
I saw someone, I think it may have been Podzilla. He said they used to have it was called like wood shop and
exactly. Yep.
Like mechanics, like learning how to work on a car. But then insurance, no one wanted to pay for it, so they got that out because then if someone gets hurt, then blah 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 blah. So all right.
So if somebody gets hurt, deny the kid a future. That's great.
Chris Garcia in the chat says, thank you, Matt, for making our Rocket League tournament a success. I appreciate you saying that, but really it was you, Chris. You put it all together. So appreciate you inviting me. Looking forward to the future. And everybody check out San Diego County Office of Education. Now, real quick, before we get to the Daily Gripe, Sam Levitt is going to be joining us at 7 p.m. from Dallas, the winter meeting. So I'm not going to talk about anything that that Sam's going to talk about because I know he gets angry about that. But I will say this real quick because we've talked about the Kevin Acee article multiple times today. And basically what it said was that the Padres are last year's payroll, they're at $169 million. Coming into this year, they're at $210 million projected. And they want to be somewhere just under $210 million. So Dylan Cease's name has popped up as the name that easiest to trade, I guess, because Michael King, I agree that Michael King was the better of the two. But as we've said a couple times today, a trade for Dylan Cease trade of Dylan Cease does not mean the Padres aren't spending money. Dylan Cease is making like between $14 and $15 million in arbitration, which in the scheme of a $210 million payroll is not that much. And so it's not just because they want to trade Dylan Cease does not mean they can't afford it or they can't sign anyone else or won't sign anyone else. I think they like to be smart on what they spend their money on, and AJ probably did a good job last year doing that. But Dylan Cease is going to fetch you a decent haul. It's not going to be a Juan Soto haul, obviously, because Juan Soto is a much higher profile player. I don't want Dylan Cease to go anywhere. I like Dylan Cease. I think he's a good guy for this team, and I think that this team really enjoys having him as a part of their clubhouse. But you got to look forward at some point. And if Roki Sasaki, I think everything is based upon whether or not Roki Sasaki is a Padre whenever he chooses. And if he is a Padre, I think Dylan Cease is going to be traded. If he is not a Padre, then they have to keep Dylan Cease and see what they could do, build around that. But I've seen it a couple times today of people like, hey, they raised ticket prices. Why aren't they going after this guy? Well, because it's not about the money. It's about what they have on their roster. You got anything?
It's not about the money this year. When you're thinking about trading somebody this is his last year of control, you're thinking
that too, yeah.
Am I going to be able to sign this guy long term? And if the answer is no, like it was with Juan Soto, you're better off getting rid of him, especially now, because if you're in a playoff run, you're not going to want to trade him at the deadline, and then you risk losing him for nothing.
I say if they don't get Sasaki, you keep Dylan Cease, you see where you're at the trade deadline, and you might have to go all in, knowing that you're not going to get anything for Dylan Cease or Michael King. You're just going to have to let them go out into the ether. Michael King is actually going to be most likely offered something by the Padres. I don't know what he's going to take or what he's going to command, but there might be a situation in my mind where they just kind of all eggs in this basket. Let's go. Let's see what we can do.
We're getting shouted at to do the gripe.
Oh, well, Rod is my chat producer, so let's gripe.
What's annoying Skraby today? Let's find out. It's time for the Daily Gripe.
I'm annoyed at one thing. Sam Levitt. And I'll tell you why. Sammy Lev and I are friends, I believe. I don't know. We've never actually said that to each other. I guess I did. He did say he loved me the other day on the air.
Aww.
Anyway, Sam Levitt comes on the show and just dunked all over me today. Just making fun of my sweatshirt. And I've said it many times. I have a uniform. I am like Homer Simpson. I literally bought one time just black shirts. Hanes black shirts. It's so much easier. So much easier to do things when you don't have to worry about what you're wearing every day. But my daily gripe is Sam calling me out for for wearing my own merch. But really, I had to buy it because I had to see the quality of the sweatshirt. So I'm not going to let this thing go to waste. So Sam Levitt, you stay out of my sweatshirt zone. Closet, yeah. Thank you, Frank. All right, everybody. Sam Levitt is up next. I hope he heard all of this. I'm not sure if he did. Thank you, Frank Marchese, for everything. And on the other side, Sam's going to update you on everything that happened at the winter meetings in just about 5 minutes or so on 97.3 The Fan.